go.
Welcome back once again to your Air Radio News loosey-goosey update with Big Daddy Russ Horton, Lee Lake, and Leah Wood. We are back together once again after a little bit of a hiatus.
Well, 3 weeks of pure hell.
Yeah, pretty much.
I didn't have COVID, but bird flu or something. And Leah was sick, and you were.
Yeah,
well.
I was a week. You guys were a couple weeks. And
I was 3 weeks.
Yeah,
3 weeks. It hit me in two ways. The first one put me on my back with aches, pains, sweats, this, that, and the other. I felt hot, I felt cold, and then I got over that.
Going through menopause, maybe it's
came back to work,
yeah.
And then the next weekend, bang again, another one.
Kicked you in the stones again.
It's like this, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
when it kicked me in the stones, it left a mark. I'll tell you. And we've all been we've all been sick.
Yeah, and it's just going around, it's hitting everybody, and it's the way it is. Once again, we are live, or we're on location at the Appalachian Public Drink House in Georgetown, Ontario, Halton Hills, Canada. 68 Main Street North, if you want to check it out. The little room that rocks, always great live music here. The Tuesdays karaoke, Wednesdays acoustic jam, Sundays a live jam. Lots of live music on the weekends. The patio's now open, so
for those of you living around the world, if you ever come here, come to the Appalachian. You have to come here first, right?
Great place to come and down some moonshine. Murphy's Moonshine.
Right on. Sounds good to me. Now, we changed the format a little bit because watching our shows, we seem to talk about the news too much. And really, that's other people do that. So
yeah, lots of places to get news.
We're still telling you what's going on, but not so much in depth as we did before. We'll tell you that Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett said on Thursday that Russian President Vladimir Putin apologized for the foreign minister's comments claiming that Adolf Hitler had Jewish origins. Where did that one come from? Complaining that the West is stuffing Ukraine with weapons, Russia bombarded railroad stations this week, other supply line targets across the country. The war continues.
So when you people think, well, we're living here with COVID and all this BS going on, you could be living that life.
And they just announced as well that there's some sort of allegations of sexual abuse going on.
Where?
With the Russians over in
well, I'm not surprised.
So raping and pillaging now.
Yeah.
War crimes.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Now, what's going on with the stock market?
Stock markets around the world fell on Thursdays. Investors faced up to the prospect of persistent high inflation and much higher borrowing costs to fight it. We're seeing that the inflation rate's just gone through the roof right now, and gas prices are stupid, and yet the economy hasn't gone through that inflation. So it's not yet anyway. But yeah, just a lot of people, that are in the stocks right now are just kind of going, being really wary.
I don't know if they're ready to throw themselves out of the 14th-story window yet.
No, not yet. No,
it's happened in the 20s, but it's not a good day in the stock markets. Now, this is really sad. Human remains have been found in a construction dumpster outside a vacant Toronto home.
A young child.
The sad part of it is confirmed to be belonging to a little girl as young as 4 years old. This is in Toronto, and that's something that...
the police have put up a couple of identifying things like the blankets and stuff that she was wrapped in. Please get this girl identified, get her back to her family so they can investigate and find out what this is. This is just a disturbing story.
They could say goodbye to her with respect as well.
And exactly, the disrespect of putting her where they placed her and all of that.
The heartbreaking thing is she's 4 years old.
Yeah.
A little girl.
Somebody who does something like that, I'm sorry, just does not, it really makes me wonder about the death penalty at sometimes. An
eye for an eye.
In a sense, yeah. Especially a child. Come on.
Have you heard of? Are you following the Amber Heard thing?
No. I don't think a lot. I think a lot of people are, but aren't. It's like people that used to say, "I don't watch 90210." Yes, you do.
I don't.
I never did. Never watched an episode. Never watched an episode in my life.
I couldn't even tell you what it's all about. I've heard about it.
Yeah.
90210. Actually, I haven't heard anyone say that in years. 90210.
It's actually back.
I'm sure I have it on my box.
Probably. Probably.
Yeah, but
your TV box. Let's clarify that.
Clarify that.
Yeah, she took the stand for the first time on Wednesday to deliver her testimony against her ex-husband Johnny Depp, who is accusing her of ruining his reputation and his career with false accusations of domestic violence. That I have a little bit of a discrepancy with because the guy's career is pretty damn good.
Well, yeah, it's not the same thing as Will Smith.
No. But, the whole thing, she's claiming all this domestic violence and stuff, yet I think it's a double-sided coin when it comes to those two. I think it's,
Well, she's obviously not playing with a full deck, human excrement on the bed.
Yeah.
What the hell is that all about, I think if a better half ever did that to me, I'd be out of there like a rat out of an aqueduct.
Pretty much.
You know what I mean? I got to head for the door, baby. Sorry.
Yeah.
Thanks for everything. But,
some bizarre stuff going on in those celebrities' worlds.
Remember Trudeau years ago?
The old man?
one?
The old
When he
man?
said fuddle-duddle?
Yeah.
Now let's come back to haunt his son. Much has been made of the political legacy Justin Trudeau has to live up to as he follows in the footsteps of his dad, a former prime minister, of course. On Wednesday, he invoked one of Pierre Elliott Trudeau's most memorable quips when asked whether he had uttered unparliamentary language. I think he dropped the F-bomb, and it wasn't fuddle-duddle.
Really?
But, I'm not a big fan of his, but everywhere he goes, he's abused.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can't pull into anywhere where he has a meeting where there aren't gangs of 600-pound guys just wanting to beat him up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yelling remarks, and just waves at them. Hey, how are you? What else are you going to do? Right? Yeah.
There's a thing on YouTube. You have to check it out. And you look it up. It's Justin Trudeau talking water bottles. Oh my God! It is one of the funniest screw-ups I've ever seen him do. It just boggled my mind. If you ever get a chance, look it up. Justin Trudeau talking water bottles. It's on YouTube and it's hilarious.
I got to check that out.
It is very funny.
I've missed that one.
This past week we lost a legend. This guy, I grew up, when I started watching hockey, he just come into the NHL, and I always loved the man. Montreal Canadiens legend Guy Lafleur was remembered at a national funeral on Tuesday as a father, a teammate, and a person of exceptional generosity who inspired generations of Quebecers both on and off the ice. And I don't even think it's just generations of Quebecers. I think it's generations of Canadians.
Well, as a Leaf fan, I can say we didn't like him because he used to
God,
hurt
yeah.
us all the time.
Killed us all the time.
But we respected Guy Lafleur.
Absolutely, and anybody who didn't got their ass kicked on the ice, big time. And the guy was just a talented man, a great ambassador for Canada, for hockey. Did you see the service at all? Like, did you check any of it out?
The family ignored the Prime Minister.
Yeah, but the place was packed.
Yeah.
It was.
Guy Lafleur was somebody, when he got the puck, when number 10 had the puck, you knew you were in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely.
The same thing 3 weeks ago, before we got sick, we were talking about Mike Bossy, and I had no idea that 2 hours before our show, he had died.
I know.
I had no idea. Two legends in 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Bossy as well, but the Canadians, state funeral. He was laying in state at the Bell Center, and people walked by his coffin, paid their respects. Just a beautiful tribute to a beautiful man.
Not like the Canadians are going to be playing anytime soon.
No, they're golfing. They're looking for gophers right now, as a matter of fact.
Pretty
We'll
much.
get to that later on. This is the scary thing about the world now. We're warming up very quickly. The planet.
Climate change.
Temperatures parts of India and Pakistan have reached record levels, putting the lives of millions at risk as the effects of the climate crisis are felt across the subcontinent. The average maximum temperature for northwest and central India in April, 122 years ago, they broke a record, 35.9 and 37.78 degrees Celsius, which is pretty close to 100 degrees every day with the humidity. Parts of Australia, in the middle part of the Australian continent, very hot, getting very hot. Sydney is by the end of the decade is supposed to be,
and they're coming into their winter.
So the planet is warming up. It's not fabricated. Look at these people in Pakistan and India. They're living through, and this is life-threatening stuff. They're being
Well, it is, yeah.
They're being told in India and Pakistan to stay home, stay hydrated.
Yeah.
You can't stay home forever. You're going to have to live with it.
We did it for 2 years.
Yeah, right. But not with the heat going bad.
No, at least didn't have to battle that. Thank God, man. That would have just been a nightmare. So.
What happened with that rolling thunder?
Yeah, we keep hearing about these rolling protests. Hundreds of people packed an Ottawa church on Sunday morning to mark the final scheduled event of the weekend-long rolling thunder protest, as police launched an investigation into vandalism that allegedly took place ahead of the gathering. Whenever you're getting these groups of people together, and the thing I don't understand is that they're talking about freedoms and this and that. Dude, you want to go live in Ukraine? Want to go live in India with hot temperatures and shit? Cry me a fucking river. Yeah. I'm sick and tired of hearing you people bitch that your freedoms have been taken away. No, you have your fucking freedoms. Quit bitching about it.
As they sit there with their remote controls watching TV on
exactly. In your nice climate-controlled home with a beer in your hand, and you whiny, bitchy babies, get the fuck off the couch and go out and enjoy some nice weather. We have a lot of freedoms in this country. A lot of countries don't have. So quit your freaking whining. And quit your stupid rolling protests and stuff. It's not getting you anywhere other than looking like a tool.
The fact that there wasn't really much problem with that on the weekend. They did behave themselves.
Most of them did.
There was a few little problems, but you're going to get that. There's an idiot in every room.
Exactly.
But there was. I was a little bit concerned whether they were going to try and hang around again. And they took off, which is good. But did you hear about Naomi Judd?
Yeah, I was a little shocked by that. I hadn't heard from them in a long time, so that name popping up kind of just went, oh, wow.
Oh, they had so many.
God, yeah.
The Judds, they're iconic in country music.
And she actually performed. She actually performed like a week before she passed. She was out performing with their daughters. So
Naomi Judd, the Kentucky-born, singer of the Grammy, we'll claim her. I'll take her. She was born in Kentucky, winner of a Grammy Award for the Judds, of course, mother of Winona and Ashley, and she died. She was 76. They're not saying how she died. It's none of our business.
And I tell you that Ashley Judd is one beautiful looking woman, man. I tell you.
The whole family is.
Yeah. But sad, just a very iconic. Again, another person I grew up listening to. My dad was a huge fan and listened to a lot of their music and always be remembered by their music. So that's cool.
Now, if you watch Jeopardy, and so many people do, Canadian Jeopardy champ Mattea Roach won a 19th game on Friday last week. I don't know how she's done now.
She's up to 21 now, I think it is.
Moving her another step higher on the ladder of the show's most successful contestants.
The highest Canadian ever on the show as well. So she's in the top 5 of the highest contestants I saw on the news the other day. And she's got to do another 10 shows before she breaks that top 5, so she's got a way to go.
But the thing is, these people on Jeopardy, they're so clever, and the things that they remember,
it's mind-boggling.
It's you and I we're not dummies, but there's no way we could go on.
No, oh God, no. I'd embarrass the hell out of myself.
I'm just amazed at the total recall that people have when it comes to remembering things.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like that. They have photographic memories, and that's the people that are on Jeopardy, the people with photographic memories. I don't have it.
It's actually called eidetic memory.
Mine's black
it's an eidetic memory.
Mine's black and white. It's not even color, my photo. But, the fact that we miss Alex Trebek, too,
absolutely.
It brings back a little bit of Canada.
It would have been cool to have her on with Alex, the two Canadians, and she would be banging it out. Because he'd be right there,
right?
Right?
See that series that Alex did with Ty Domi, where he was out on the ice for about 20 minutes and did a whole bunch of stuff, talking about hockey.
No, I've never seen that.
And it had Ty Domi passing to Alex on offside,
right?
And Alex wanted to know what did Ty do that was wrong there, and he explained everything. But Alex used to really get his hands dirty in that.
Oh yeah.
And him and Ty, of course, were electric together.
Yeah.
You can imagine. So
Ty's a great guy. I've met him several times, and I love the guy. He's so funny. just a funny guy.
The thing I remember more about Ty is, of course, we're both Leaf fans anyway, but I remember the Philadelphia Flyer game in Philly where he was in the penalty box, and Buddy wants to take a crack at Ty. You want to take a crack at Ty? Go for it, pal. Over he comes.
Yeah.
How do you like me now?
Exactly.
You know, and Ty's smiling the whole time he's giving it to this guy. I love Ty Domi.
Love him.
I named my Saint Bernard back in the early 90s. That's what I named it, Ty.
Ty? Because of Ty Domi.
No, I've always liked Ty. I got a chance. I was at a McDonald's at Winston Churchill and the 403 or Highway 5 in the 403, and just going through the drive-through, and all these people are buzzing around, and and the guy in the drive-through window goes, "Ty Domi's over there, and he's in the parking lot." So I pull up beside him. He's got the hood of his Jeep open, and I said to him, "Is something wrong?" He goes, "Yeah, my battery's dead. I need a boost." And nobody would go up and talk to him.
They're all scared.
They're all scared of him, right? He's got his wife, his 2 kids in the back seat. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Plays in the NHL.
Some people don't like to bother them because they are celebrities.
Well, there's that too. You have that aspect as well.
The equation of not wanting to bother them.
So I get my jumper cables out, I hook him up, I get him started. He's, thank you so much. Let me buy your lunch for you, whatever. I'm like, no, don't worry about it. And he took my business card. Well, 3 days later, I get to my work, and there's a parcel at my front door with a signed picture framed from Ty Domi, and on the back a handwritten note saying, "Thank you so much for your help. That's awesome. I love Canadian people," something like that. And it was so cool.
How can you not like Ty Domi?
I just love the guy, man. And I've met him at a couple of the alumni games too as well, and just a genuinely nice guy. And he remembered me. He remembered me as the guy that gave him the boost in the McDonald's parking lot. So very, very cool.
My brother-in-law used to watch Don Cherry's truck at the car wash in Wolfdale and Dundas in Mississauga for many years. And I talked to Don Cherry. He listens to FM108.ca.
Yeah, he loves it.
We're trying to get the podcast on, and I'm working on it.
Yeah, we're getting there. But we got to get into our sports here.
Jake Ottinger grabbed a shutout. Dallas Stars came back to even the series. 2-0 victory over the Calgary Flames at the Saddle Dome. And the Rangers jumped back into their series with the Pittsburgh Penguins, tying the series 5-2. The other game went
3 overtimes,
didn't it?
80 shots on goal on one, 65 shots on the other one. Like, that's insane.
And the Florida Panthers, they tied up their dance with Washington, pounding the Capitals 5-1 in the land of orange juice. And Cale Makar, hometown Calgary, scored overtime to give Colorado 2-1 victory in overtime over Nashville, taking commanding 2-0 lead. That's the team I'm picking to, well, one of them anyway.
Well, the odds makers are saying Leafs and Colorado in the final.
Now to go through the sports, Elias Lindholm made the difference with a single goal. Calgary Flames hung on to beat the Dallas Stars in the first game, 1-0, of course. And most of the NHL games are tied up now.
Pretty much, yeah.
Florida came back, and
that was a shocker. Washington beating them was a shocker.
Yeah, the first game.
Yeah.
Out of the gate. And, 2 or 3 years ago, it would have been the other way around.
Yeah.
But Florida's the team to beat this year, along with Tampa Bay, of course. And the Leafs are 1-1 with Tampa Bay going into games 3 on Friday night.
Right.
And the other series that's going on is Minnesota. They're tied up in their series. So there's, and of course the Jays they're doing all right. We keep getting all these one-run games.
Yeah.
They're winning or losing.
Yeah.
No wonder I haven't got any hair.
Are they done with the Yankees now?
They're done with the Yankees.
Yankee series is done?
Yankees took 2 out of 3 from us. But now, of course, we're heading into, and some of the teams that are surprising this year, the Minnesota Twins are doing well. Again, you like to see the American League East teams being beaten.
Yeah.
Baltimore, but Boston's off to an awful start, the Red Sox. But Tampa Bay and the Yankees are there, of course, as always. And, we're, I think, 3 games back now.
The Yankees are almost predictable.
The thing I love about the Jays is they're a bunch of young kids, and they're still having fun, but they have 1 year under their belt now. They're not as naive as they were.
Not as green.
Yeah. But I love the home run jacket. I love
that's a cool idea, yeah.
That's just... Rowdy Tellez, remember him? He used to play for the Jays. He's
Right, yeah.
smacking home run after home run in Milwaukee now.
They always seem to leave us and go play better.
Yeah.
We get that with the Leafs a lot too.
Yeah, we
I was
do.
just gonna say that's a Leaf trade.
Yes.
Well, the problem with the Leafs is you don't know which team's going to show up.
Yeah.
Whether it's going to be the team that loses to
They
Buffalo
got
or
they
the
got
team
to
that beats
they
Tampa
got
Bay.
to stay the hell out of the penalty box, man. Like, come on,
Yep.
it's just
Yeah, and I mean, we knew it wasn't going to be easy against Tampa Bay. Come on, Lee.
Oh, God, no.
They're the former champions, and they weren't going to. And now we've got to go into their barn and play them.
at least pull one out of their barn. We got to pull one game out of
And
that.
of course, the
barn.
Raptors are gone in the NBA. They were beaten by the 76ers, who in turn are getting their asses kicked by Miami.
Yeah.
So everything all leads into
Kind of works itself out. Yeah.
But that's a look at the sports. Oh, look at me. We're dealing with our new.
What's your?
Oh, I'll have to lick that off later. What are we looking at here? The music. Okay, so we've done that. So now we're getting into our new shows. We'll talk about the radio stations a little.
Well, that's it. Yeah, we've got several stations between the Air Radio News Network. So we got Radio GTA, FM 108.ca. Of course, Halton Hills Online is our local radio station that we have. And it's a lot of variety there. You know,
Canada's national radio,
Yeah.
FM 108.ca, is the original.
who Don Cherry listens to.
Don
So
Cherry.
just so you know.
If Don Cherry listens to us, thinks we're cool, you should listen to us too. We play Buddy Holly, we play the Chuck Berry, we play the Beatles, 50s, 60s, 70s, and we have air radio news, weather and sports every hour, keep you entertained. And we don't have the backlog of commercials that
No,
the other radio stations
exactly.
have. And our freeform station, Radio GTA, of course, which has a number of wonderful shows on the weekends especially. We have American Crossroads, which is the old traditional country and rock, Tom Petty kind of, John Prine kind of stuff.
Right,
You know,
yep.
Relaxing Friday
CCR,
night. Yep.
the
Nice, relaxing Friday night from 9 to midnight on GTA. And on the weekend, we have Bill Smith with his new music mix from noon to 6 on GTA. FM 108 has all the original DJs that they did back in the 1980s, including moi. Me, I've been there. I was there in 1980, so I've been. Do the math.
I can't.
42 years in one station. I do mornings, and of course we have Bert Toms and Glenn Darling and Steve West does nights. We have lots of wonderful shows on the weekend on FM 108.ca. The Top 40 Timeline, of course, which
Is your new Big 20 on there yet?
no,
or-
not on
Not yet.
108, not on
Oh, okay.
on yes, on
On
GTA.
GTA,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're heard. That's the first show actually Wednesday night at 10, and then it's repeated through the world of radio stations throughout the week.
Right.
But that's a very exciting show. And what we do with the Big 20 is we take the newer music, the brand new releases from the indie, rock, pop, country charts, and a lot of Canadian stuff, some pop music, some dance music from Europe, and we put it all on one 2-hour show.
Right on.
And it's called the Big 20.
The Big
You
20.
couldn't get a fresher show than that, really. When you think about it, it's the newest of the new. And I'm the music director of it. Thank you very much. And we cover country as well, of course, with Walter Scott James. We have the Canadian Indie Country Countdown crossover of the week.
Right. Yep.
Kind of like the Premier League in the UK, you know, you
Yeah.
get relegated and, but we have the new Canadian stuff on the Big 20 every week, one new song a week, and which gives the Canadian artists exposure around the world.
That's right.
For stations in New Zealand to play and Australia, because we're on around the world. Wonderful radio station.
We're
And
heard worldwide.
And the Top 40 Timeline's gone into syndication now. It's all archived.
Yeah.
But, this weekend it's
Still a ton of shows though.
It's May of 1979 with Gary, the history guy from the old McGibbon Hotel in downtown Georgetown. Remember that?
The Gib.
Remember the old studio we had?
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
Was there many
Red-
times?
Yeah.
The Little Red Room.
Yeah. That's right.
And backdoor Jimmy used to wander in and out, and back in the old days. But those shows have always been a big part of what I did, and I'm so happy to bring them back. again. So lots of
And
stuff going
like
on.
you say, there's tons of them, so there's lots in syndication. You got lots to listen to over the next decade.
Lots of new music too. Looking at the Big 20 list here, we've got people like Arcade Fire with a new album out.
Yeah,
from
that's right.
Montreal.
Yeah.
And the Black Keys,
Black
of course.
Keys,
They're
great
from
band.
Akron, Ohio. Biba Doobie, which, have you ever heard of Biba
No,
Doobie?
no.
Very interesting artist from London, England.
I
And of
smoke a
course,
doo-
the
I smoke a
Anyway.
doobie, but
Yes,
I'm not being a
don't,
doobie.
Don't we all, you know? Have you got the corn chips, by the way?
Yeah.
I know we have the fries. Bands like Dead, which is a Chicago indie
Yeah.
band, very, very popular. The Anyway Gang from Toronto. It's a super group, Canadian super. And then they are very, very hot. So we have all this stuff going on. You can change it where we're going now. Now we're going to have some fun. Now we're going to have some fun. With the top 40 timeline, we're going to look at what was the top 5 songs 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and see if we can snub her.
I wouldn't have gotten any of these.
Well, isn't it funny how, you know, the 2020s, you know, radio stations say, yeah, we play the best hits of the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s. Well, the 2000s started 22 years ago.
Yeah.
So stop, you know, I mean, and when you think of the 90s, you think of yesterday.
Yeah.
It was 22 years ago when it finished.
And that was the end of the 90s.
And, you know, so, now the top 5 songs in 2012, well, we'll give you the number 1 song. Somebody that I used to know by Goatee featuring Kimbra.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it.
Never heard of
Never
it.
heard of that one?
Nope.
All right, so that was the number 1 song. Oh, what did I do? I did something. You see, I never touch things. There we go. Okay, so then you got 2002. Do you know any of them? Ashanti was number 1.
I remember that one.
In 2002. Foolish was the name of the song. Anything else on there? Jennifer Lopez.
I Need a Girl featuring P. Diddy. I remember that one. I'm not sure.
That was a big hit in 2002. And we'll go back a little bit more here, and you can read off some of. Now you're getting into some of the
There we
stuff
go.
you probably know.
So 30 years ago, number 1 hit, Jump by Criss Cross.
Yeah, Canadian.
Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen was,
was
number 2.
re-released.
Yes.
Yeah.
Save the Best for Last with Vanessa Williams.
Yeah.
Tears in Heaven, Eric Clapton.
Oh, that was a great
beautiful
song,
song.
wasn't it?
I know women that actually listen to that song and cry.
Well,
when
it's
they
all
hear it.
about.
Well, his son.
It was about his son.
Right?
Fell out the window in a hotel room, right?
And you remember? Do you remember On Vogue?
On Vogue, yeah.
Oh,
You're never
yeah.
gonna get it. Never gonna get it.
Are you kidding me? I lived on the dance floor for years.
Now we're getting really interesting. Now as we go 40 years ago this week. Number 5, Freeze Frame by the Jay Giles Band.
Yeah.
Number 4, Don't Talk to Strangers, Rick Springfield. There's
I don't know. I know all of it.
Yeah.
Everything.
Oh, yeah.
I love rock and roll, of course, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. Number 2, Ebony and Ivory. Remember that? Paul McCartney and Stevie Wonder. And the number 1 song 40 years ago this week, Chariots of Fire with Vangelis. Title of the movie.
Good too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Great tune.
Well, let Lee read out the 72.
All right. So we got 72, 50 years ago.
this week.
God, I feel old. Number 5.
Oh, Daydreaming by Aretha Franklin.
Yeah, Daydreaming. Rockin' Robin with Michael Jackson.
Yeah, he covered that.
Betcha by Golly Wow, the Stylistics featuring Russell Tompkins Jr. I Gotcha by Joe Tex, which is
2.
a great tune. The First Time I Ever Saw Your Face by Roberta Flack.
That's a classic.
Oh, very much so.
And
Classic.
that song was at number 1 for a long time.
4
That was
weeks.
50 years ago this week.
Yeah.
Now we're going way back.
Oh my God, it's been that long.
60 years ago this week.
1962.
Number 5, Good Luck Charm by Elvis Presley. Number 4, Strangers on the Shore by Mr. Ackerbilk. That was my father's favorite instrumental of all time. Johnny Angel by Shelley Fabre, who was on the movie Coach, as a matter of fact. She did a little bit of acting. Mashed Potato Time by D.D. Sharp at number 2. And one of my favorites, the Shirelles at number 1 with
Soldier Boy.
There you go. There's some,
very
some
cool.
fun with it. Now we've got a little bit of Leah's trivia here that she's been throwing in on the Facebook. She's getting quite a bit of action.
She's
on
doing,
this.
yeah, it's working really well.
It was May the 5th, 1956. Elvis Presley scored his first U.S. number 1 single and album with Heartbreak Hotel. When it went to the top of the charts, Heartbreak Hotel became the first million seller and was the best-selling single of 1956. And I'm scared to touch this. Is that the bottom?
Yeah.
We're at the bottom.
Yeah.
Now, Leah puts up trivia every day on the station. And it's good to look back sometimes in your rearview mirror and check out what's going on.
Especially when you see things like this, the soundtrack of West Side Story. It went on to be #1 on the U.S. album chart, and it spent 54 weeks. It's over a year at the #1 position, and to have a soundtrack do that, like that's just, back then that wasn't.
And I remember it well because I remember my mom was just enamored with this West Side Story.
Yeah.
And I remember when I actually was able to watch it with her, I was very little, but.
Another one of Leah's trivia is May 3rd, 1964, Jerry and the Pacemakers make their U.S. debut performing Don't Let the Sun Catch You Crying on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Yeah, the TV debut.
I loved Ed Sullivan, but he didn't have a talent.
It's a really big shoe. It's a really.
But what did he do? He didn't sing,
No.
he didn't dance, he wasn't an actor. He used to stand there and go.
Wait till you see one of the memes I have to put up.
He was just a host, really.
He was a very popular
Oh,
host,
very
but
much so.
he
Well, it was the
wasn't
only.
talented
It was
in
the
any
only
one thing.
show like that at that time. So
That's what I was going to say. That was a really popular show because it was an original
yeah,
at that time.
yeah.
I remember when I was a kid watching the Beatles. I was 4 or 5 years old, I think I was at the time, but I do remember that, watching the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show. And I didn't know at the time it was going to be a big deal. Nobody did.
Nobody
But,
did. Yeah.
Of course, it ended up being iconic in so many ways. How are we doing for time? Doing for time there, sweetheart.
Should be good.
Yeah. Maybe I'll. She's giving me fingers. I'm not supposed to know what that means.
32 minutes.
Oh, 32 minutes. Okay. So we can wrap her up here. And
Yeah, we've had a
lot
good
of
show. We've had a lot of fun. We tried to bring you some news, a little bit of music trivia, and
Talk about the radio more now. And we'll be. I'll be finding out what's happening on the radio shows on the weekends. We have a lot of wonderful shows on the air. CICC, the Canadian Indie Country Countdown, every Saturday morning from 6 till noon, and on GTA. So we're helping a lot of artists as well.
Absolutely.
A lot of Canadian artists too, which makes me happy.
we love our Canadian artists,
Well, absolutely, we do. And the fact
myself included.
we lost a Canadian icon this week. What's his name there? Doucette, is it? No.
Oh, Jerry Doucette. Yeah, we lost Jerry. Mama let him play. Let him
Great
play.
guitar player,
Great
blues
guy.
player. I'm sorry, Jerry. My mind is just mud right now. I forgot your name. I don't know why, because I used to play your songs when they were hits.
Oh God, yeah.
But Mama Let Him Play, that's one of those songs that
Great
you just
tune.
crank up.
Oh God, if I'm in the car, that's
but,
getting cranked.
As we say, good night, God bless to a Canadian, and to Susan Jacks,
Yes.
who was a friend of mine on Facebook, or was. Not a close friend, but she treated all the radio people and the media people like they were her family. And the only thing greater than her voice and her presence on stage was the wonderful heart that she had as a human being. And we're going to miss Susan Jacks, who was dealing with a lot of medical problems that we didn't know about. Not only the most beautiful woman in Canadian music, one of the greatest voices in Canadian music, up there with Anne Murray.
Anne Marie, yeah.
And we're going to miss her. Every time I hear Which Way You Goin', Billy, it sends I was 12, 13 at the time, and just send a message of, do you remember when?
Yeah.
And Canadian icon.
So once again, we wrap up our show. We're on location at the Appalachian Public Drink House in Georgetown, Ontario, Halton Hills, Canada. And you ever heading out this way, if you're not a local and you're coming to the Halton Hills area, please stop in. It's the little room that rocks. There's always great live music going on here.
Fries were great.
And the food is absolutely outstanding. So highly recommend it. And we just enjoy bringing you your air radio news every week for Big Daddy Russ Horton, myself, Lee Lakin, and Leah Lywood. We've got another week under our belt on this wonderful adventure we're on with these vlogs. So we want to thank you all for joining us every week. We really, really appreciate it.
Expanding community worldwide from Canada's hometown, Halton Hills, Canada. Here we are. Thank you so much.
Have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll catch you on the B-side.